Well, I just popping it up. It might take it a second.
You doing the Piggy Way one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was tomorrow. I didn't know.
Well, we're going live. It's Piggy Way.
Yeah, okay. Really?
Yes, I am. I is a live wire. I'm always live.
Hi, Lisa.
Whether I look like I move like I'm a live wire or not. Manny Dog, howdy. Nana, howdy. Yep. Like I just told Nana in messages, I neglected to prepare a video again.
Hi, Josie.
Josie, howdy. So I'm going live again. So Beverly Moffett, Parody,
Hey, Beverly.
howdy, appreciate you. Y'all may have noticed the title, Pyromania. I got something to say.
Hi, Tish.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, y'all know. And I do got something to say. I'll get to it in a minute. And ain't no telling what all else I might say. Oh, Purdy's on lunch break. Well, Purdy, you must be a glutton for punishment to spend your lunch break sitting here to listen to the old fat man talking. Yeah, it's an odd time, Josie. I did this last week. I neglected and failed to get around to doing a video, so I just went ahead and did a pop up live. It did pretty good, too. I did that Thursday. Did pretty good. Lane told me I had 400 and something views on it Thursday. Oh, good. Find out anything good? Anything coming of all that? Uh, if it's too much to say here, you can FaceTime me later and fill me in. Oh, you did? I might have to see why I didn't get that. Folks, I ain't been up but about an hour or so. I got up, what, just before 1 o'clock? Quarter till?
Probably about 12:45, 12:50, something like that.
Well, Lady Dawson, howdy. Yeah, I had fun with that live Thursday. Was it Thursday? I take
Yeah,
that
it's the
desk
4th.
down?
It was the 4th.
Yeah, the 4th. And I stayed up late last night. I wasn't planning on staying up a little bit later than everything, but oh, it's still processing. Okay.
Hey, Melinda.
Well, now, Joe, I'm talking about seeing the notification for your live having come up. Wouldn't have mattered though. I was asleep.
Yeah, I don't wake Piggy up when he's sleeping good.
Well, like I said, I was going to go to bed earlier than what I did last night, but there are certain processes it takes to Piggy a little while to go through. And there was a process, about the time I was thinking about maybe going to bed, there was a process starting to build and was going to need to happen. And it wasn't long after that process was allowed to be done that I did go to bed. Y'all can just figure that out on your own. But the nerve damage things kind of go slower. So any buildup takes a little longer. I'm just saying. I told y'all the other day, Teresa Jukowitz at it.
Hey, Teresa.
Belinda, that's exactly why I didn't go into that. Because a lot of that stuff really gets into my feels. Because you really want to do something, there ain't a thing you can do about it. You know? And some people can handle that. Some can't. I can't. You know? Uh, I have a strong sense of right and wrong, and I've had a lot of wrong done to me and couldn't be made right, and never will be. And then I see a lot of other people going through a lot of wrong, and I know what it takes to get past it and rise above it. But Thursday's live was a lot of fun. Had some idiots come into that live. That's getting towards. I got something to say. Da 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 da. Arrogance, ignorance,
Hey, Ben's over.
prejudice. Now, while I got something against arrogance and prejudice, I don't have anything against ignorance, because ignorance can be taught. But willful ignorance can't be taught. And that's where you get things that, like arrogance and prejudice and assumption. People assume things. I think I burned my head. Oh, he got a skin head. He must be a skinhead. Really? Now that one didn't get brought up the other day, but that's just an example I'm going to use. Somebody would see my bald head and they automatically assume I must be a skinhead, or I must be this, or I must be that. And that goes for anybody that's looking at anybody. Now there are things about people that you can see that are indicators towards what they may or may not be. Things they say, how they say it, what they're doing at the time. Now, that is a presumption. But you're also looking at that person and saying, I presume thus and so, and they'll verify or nullify that presumption. Well, Melinda Dawson, that's true. But the reason they ain't got a lick of sense because they're lazy, don't want to think, and they just want to assume what they want to assume, and that's how they see the world. It is born out of laziness because they don't want to work the main muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got a little mean in that live. Now, I was told that, some checked out the channels that was doing that, and everything said it was a bunch of kids. And everything. I don't care if they're kids or not. After a certain age, if you've got the mind enough to think and make assumptions about things, you've got the mind enough to think and think right. So I thoroughly believe in actions have consequences. My channel is listed as not for kids. So, I don't care who you are. You come into my live and you start talking about, well, I must be this and I must be that. They had one of them had a thing about me wearing my mask. Oh, I must be a liberal. No, You're just too ignorant to learn anything about the piggy and what the piggy is about and know that this is just part of the persona. Because you're too lazy to do a little research and use your brain for more than just something to be an animal. Then Joe Rakers, howdy, I see you there. And, so I got a little meme, but I was having fun with it. Something said about must be stupid for this or that. And I said, no, well, something else is stupid. It's coming into somebody's life and making assumptions about what must be without knowing what you're talking about. Rather than find out what's up, you just assume what the deal is and you run with it, leaning unto your own understanding. Got a friend of mine. He is, folks, you want to talk about a brain pan. This dude is as smart as they come. He has studied at and worked at as a scientist some very, very prestigious places like Cambridge University. That's a highfalutin place of learning right there. And he's not only studied there, he has worked as a scientist there and at other prestigious universities and colleges. And he once called me the smartest man he ever knew. I told him, I said, dude, I said, how can that be? I said, there's plenty of times I've had to ask you to educate my ignorance on one thing or another. Because I admit I'm of decent intelligence. I may be smarter than some. I ain't as smart as others. It goes both ways. I have a limited amount of intelligence. All of us do. And whereas I'm smart in some things, I'm dumb in others. Those others I'm dumb in, she usually covers up for me. So, we got it covered that way. And if both of us are dumb in an area, Tinkerbell!
Hey, Miss Tinkerbell.
And everything. We know different people that we could go to ask about it. Or if nothing else, we can Google it or look it up on YouTube. Like me doing them breaks out there, I've done a little bit of YouTubing to have an idea what I'm getting into. I had an idea what I was getting into, but doing the YouTube videos, how-tos, gave me a much better idea of what I was doing. I was educating my ignorance on that task. Rather than just get into it and everything, have a hard time with it and say, blame it on the designers and engineers of such things. And, well, that was stupid to do it like this. And that was stupid to do it like that. No, it was stupid of me not to look into it to know what I needed to do to get it done. My biggest obstacle right now is my body. I told y'all the other day we got those recliners, like I told my neighbor, I said, yeah, I'll be able to get it. I'll pay for it later. Usually it takes 2 or 3 days for something I've done to catch up to me. Well, it's been 2 days. My back hurts. And I got up, I had a headache, my nose was running, so I took me a red pill to stove that off, and took me 3 pain relievers to help with the headache. Maybe it'll help with the back too. Because I can usually deal with things, but I wasn't going to sit here and deal with a sore back and a headache too. Don't she though? Folks, that right there is why I went through it to be able to get those recliners when they were offered.
She is comfortable in her new recliner.
The other one is in the other room because I can't really see fitting it in here right now, and it's too hot to try. At least this way I can stay maybe somewhat cool. But in that recliner, I'd be laying back and those nice comfy cushions and everything. I'd get a little heated up. And, but.
Hey, Alvin.
Elvin! Elvin!
Sound theater.
But, when those recliners were offered, I didn't go through it for me. I went through it for that right there. See, she does real well when she's able to have her feet up. And we've got her little board there as a little desk and everything. And she can sit there and be quite productive.
I get more done sitting here, in all honesty, than I do sitting at that desk right there.
So that's why I went through that.
But I did help. And
She did. She helped a lot. She apologized for not being a help no more than she did. And I told her, I said, well, honey, I said, it's kind of like, the person in back of the bride holding up that train, so the bride don't have to worry about it, tripping over it. It might not seem like a lot, but it can make the difference between getting down the aisle or stumbling down the aisle, So that's something a lot of people don't take into account and don't realize. It doesn't matter how small the amount of help was. That small, tiny bit of help can mean the difference between a good outcome and a bad outcome. So, but anyway, assumption, arrogance, prejudice, ignorance, willful ignorance, all born out of laziness. They too lazy to think. A lot of people's problem. They're too lazy to think, so they just assume according to what way they want things to be. That's right, Benzover. Every little bit helps. So when those people was coming into my life and talking trash, Abbott took care of those situations for me, and I appreciate that because he was seeing the piggy was a different side of the piggy, and because I can get mean, folks. And when you coming into my life or stepping up to me and being stupid, I'm gonna tell you you're being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're too lazy to use your brain to figure something out and to figure out what things really are. Which means you're arrogant. Because you think the world should be the way you want to think it is instead of trying to use your brain and think and figure it out. But it was in hindsight, it was really funny because they were fools trying to fool others into thinking they were something and knew a little something and didn't know they're a butthole from a hole in the ground. So, it's all good, though. But, yeah, she's comfy. That's why I went through that. That's why I'm paying for it.
And he is paying for it. That's why I let him rest.
Like I said, I woke up with a headache and started to get up and like, oh, crap. I got a spot in my back. Goes to the spinal. spine over to the side. It's a muscle, and it's stemming from a uh, disc in the middle of my spine uh, that I remember how I did that one, and it was my fault that it was damaged. But when you got deteriorating disc and you do something, damage is going to be a lot worse than it would be on somebody that ain't got deteriorating disc. It happened years ago, but when it comes to back stuff, it takes years and decades for something to show up. And but you know, we ain't got friends that are close by, and my neighbor suggested calling him to borrow his truck, maybe do that and get them up here. We don't talk too much, and so that was out. That little car in its trunk, it done pretty good.
It did.
It was big enough for me to get the top part of the recliner slid down into it, and the bottom part of it sticking out. And we very slowly crawled it back up here to the house and got one out, went back down there and got the other one. And then I tore that desk down so we could put it away, because I'm going to redo it later when we get us a place and everything. And then we got her chair situated, and I put that other chair back yonder. And now she's got her a place where she can be comfortable and she can do what she got to do and get a lot more of it done.
Yeah.
And not be so stressful over. And that's why I'm paying for that. That's why I went through that. That's why I was willing to pay what I was going to have to pay to get that done. Opportunity for a recliner came up. I know she does well working in a recliner, and we ain't got to worry about it too bad getting stunk up by a dog, because our Charlie left us, and y'all, that still seems surreal. It just still getting used to that, because it just don't seem right.
Yeah, because every time I go to the restroom, he was my shadow. He'd beat me to the bathroom.
Yep.
So I don't have that little four-legged feller running to the bathroom ahead of me. I know he sounds
Or
funny.
trying to jump up on you to snuggle up in whatever space might be there to be had in your chair.
Yeah.
And dog being rubbed in the chair gets to where it stinks after a while.
Yeah.
So we ain't got to worry about that. But kind of miss it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be things that I do not miss about him being gone from us. 351.
I ain't 351.
But there's also going to be a lot of things that I do miss. Yeah, he come in there and jump up on the bed and be a nuisance while we're trying to sleep. That got aggravating. The irony is, I'm having to get used to it not being there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Melinda. But
Everybody misses him barking.
yeah, I just heard the mail truck run, so I'll go out there and check out here later. But that's why I was willing to pay for that. Working on that van out there, getting that done means getting it on the road. That's why I'm willing to pay the cost physically, what that's going to cost me in order to get that done. Like I said, we don't have friends that are close by that could help out. We don't have family to speak of that would help out. what friends we do have that are relatively close by, I'm talking about like within 30 minutes or 40 minutes. My sis and her husband, Adrian, Dana and Adrian, you know, they've got lives they're living, you know, and, you know, don't want to be calling them up all the time to come help us out because they got lives they need, that they're living too.
Yeah.
You know, and especially over the week of the 4th of July, you know. Uh, so took some stuff up to my little sis over in Alabama. A couple of big items and one really big. It was a 50cc scooter. This one the van was running. That's what we had to drive. And I managed to get that scooter up into that van, take it up there. Well, my little sis got on to me for lifting that thing up into the van. I told her, I said, who else was going to do it?
That's it.
She kind of dropped her head and shut up on that one.
She may be resting, Melinda. I know she's been tired an awful lot lately.
Yeah, she sometimes stays up late at night and catching up on videos and stuff, and she's involved in other things outside of her home that require her time and everything. So, while it may not seem like it to some, she's a busy woman.
Very busy lady.
And everything. You know, she'll call me up, FaceTime, and we'll talk for a good while. Yes, she is, Beverly. And so she's a busy woman.
I used to be a night owl, and I think everything's changing on me.
Well, we've gone back to doing that daily thing through the week.
Yeah.
So we've kind of had to switch back. I'm having a hard time with that. I can't seem to get to sleep. So first few nights, I was going to bed earlier, and I'd still lay there tossing and turn for hours before I'd finally go to sleep. So, that night owl thing kind of really appealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got a kick out of that the other day on the live. Those people coming in, that one kept wanting to insist I must be a liberal because I'm wearing this mask. Well, they just jumped into something new they knew nothing about and then assumed what must be because they're too lazy to find anything out about the piggy, how the piggy came to be and what that's about. I put my hat in the camera and said, you might want to take a real good look at this before you keep on with the liberal thing. But like I said on there, I don't have nothing against a liberal as long as they're a thinking liberal. Being liberal doesn't mean that you're an idiot. It means that usually most good liberals, they're only slightly left of center, whereas most good conservatives are only slightly right of center. It's the psychotic lunatics that go real far left or real far right and become, like my DIs taught me in boot camp, that 10% that make it bad for everybody else.
There's a lot of them 10%ers out there.
I can go with that, Melinda. So I let him know he was stupid. Because he wasn't using his brain to think and look into something before he spoke. You know, it's a case of he decided to go swimming and jump in that pool and didn't realize there weren't no water there to catch him. Because I was the concrete. So, but we had a good time otherwise. Me disassembling that desk and doing pretty good until about near the last, and that one piece broke, and I decided, well, we'll just throw all that part of it away. I just keep the metal legs and stuff to it, so that when we are able to get us another place, I can take that desk. I can get some nice wood, shape it to the dimensions it needs to be, get some actual metal brackets instead of those plastic ones. Take that nice wood and shape it and sand it, make it really nice and smooth and parity, and stain it whatever color she wants, and then clear coat it really, really good, make it nice and shiny and deep looking. And well, Melinda, that depends on how he landed. He might have landed on his back. That'll hurt his back in about 30 years. He'll feel the results of that.
Yeah.
If he ever gets brain enough to realize that he needs to go a different way. But yeah, we'll get us a place. I'll take those legs, and a couple pieces will have to remain the same as far as the way I make them. But she wants to do the top part of it a little different. And so I'll have her show me how she wants that done. We'll do that, but I'll make it with some good solid wood and get it sanded really smooth. When I sand the wood, I usually have a tendency to make it smooth as glass, and then I stain it, and then I'll clear coat it and make it all nice and pretty. And it'll be the framework of a very old desk, made new. Just have to wait until we get us a place and can do that. And Melinda, I made a concrete only in that if you get stupid with me, I'll hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying.
Bite into me, you might not like the taste. But anyhow. Yeah, that's how a lot of things get messed up today, folks. That's how a lot of things get messed up. Things get misunderstood and all like that. It's because people want to jump to conclusions and assume what is rather than find out. Some things pretty obvious. But it comes to something like this, well, why is that person wearing a mask? It's part of the persona. You meet me out in person, I might meet you with the mask on so that you're sure of who it is. But after that, the mask comes off because it does make it hard to breathe. It's not a good thing, especially when you got asthma. So, but I do it, one, because of the persona, two, to maintain at least a modicum of privacy. But that's my thing. And one day I may take the mask off. But it won't be today. But anyhow, I got a couple of small video clips of where I've done some of the work on the van. I thought about putting those up. I thought, no, I don't feel like messing with it right now. So again, I failed to prepare a video for today, so I'm doing yet another pop-up live to fill the time. And do it like that. The other day when I did it, for some reason, when it went to load up, it was on private. And Mama Linda went to go watch it, and she said she couldn't watch it because it was on private. So while we talked on FaceTime, I flipped it over, and so let me see what I can do about that. And I got it put over on public so that she could watch it when we got done talking. And so I'll have to make sure of that today. I think I already got it took care of, so it shouldn't be a problem. But I guess I could have done this outside, but I would have had to done it on my phone, and it would have been like this instead of like this. And I don't like it like this. I like this. You know, feel straighten it and get to see all the ugly and all my glory. And yeah, I wanted to say something about the stupidity out there. Yeah, where it comes from. It basically comes from laziness. People are too lazy to think. Of course, there's times when I wish I could be like some others and not think so much. Thank you, Melinda.
Makes it easier to see.
Because thinking about things is about all I do. About all I can do. Because I can't do a whole lot more than just what I'm doing right here, sit here. Yeah, I do a little bit. You know, this past week I spent a few minutes on the van over a few days, and I got it to the point where I've got it to. I just hadn't got back out there to finish up taking everything off of that one side, which all I got left on that one side is disconnecting the brake hose, which will let loose the caliper. The caliper is off the rotor and the bracket, but still attached to the hose, which is still attached to the van. So, but all I got to do is just take that hose off. It'll disconnect all that because I got a new hose to go on it too for both sides. Loading hay. I hope you're doing it on a tractor with those big round bells. But if you're doing it with square bells, oh, Lord have mercy. I remember those days.
That's just like he's done his fair share of those.
I've done the round bell thing. I'm going to stop the camera for a second. You should still be able to hear me, but I'm going to stop the camera for a second because I'm going to get me a drink of coffee. So there we go. Yeah, y'all can still hear me. Get me a sup of coffee here, like my old Tom Chief, Todd Brinquist would say. Gotta have my coffee.
Gotta have goat juice.
Well, when I was in the Marines, I didn't drink coffee at that time, but when I was in the Marines, we called that lifer juice. If you drank coffee, you was a lifer. And Raider! Well, Melinda, I don't even know if he's on a tractor or not. He hasn't said yet. But I'm going to presume, not assume, that he is on. enter on the tractor because he's able to listen to me while loading that hay. But if he was having to do it with square bells, he wouldn't be able to do that too well. So that's one of those things I said there would be indicators that would allow someone to presume something rather than assume something, making an A out of you and me. I'm pleasantly surprised to see Miss Rita in here. Being a farm wife, she's usually doing something, quilting, cooking, helping Mr. Terry with something out there on the farm. Well, Miss Rita, you get that quilting machine to going. Do what you gotta do. As I've told someone today, and I usually say a lot, well, Miss Rita, there's always a replay if you miss something, if you have the time. But as I say, life goes on and waits for no one. You got to do what you got to do. So, oh, that'd be nice, Beverly. We got something yesterday, boy, it cooled it off so. And it felt really, really nice. The temp was bad enough, but the humidity was killer. Well, yeah, I do that with everybody, Rita. That way they know I saw them come in and know that they are welcome. Like, get on in here, come on. Of course, I suppose I could set up a mic where it would be even louder. Of course, these mics on these computers do pretty good. Yeah, you should have been in here a while ago when Alvin came in. I like doing his. Alvin! And usually Elaine's in here and she'll go, Simon, Theodore. You know, just trying to make it fun. I got Sampy messaging me. He had mentioned meeting up today because he was going to be fairly close by at a drag strip. I didn't remember until I got up. When I got up, I was sore and hurting, and then I remembered that and everything. So I regret that I'm not going to be able to go meet him. And everything. That's probably why he's messaging me. So let him know. Let's see. Let him know I'm on live right now. everything, maybe he'll come in and I can catfish dog. Indiana Chris. Howdy, y'all. Master Piggy, what's up? Well, unfortunately, at the moment, I is up. If it wasn't for the aches and pains, I probably could have still been in bed asleep. And sorry, don't mean to ignore y'all. Just talking to Sampy for a second. Told him come on in for a minute. I talked to him there if he can. So he's over at a drag strip that's about 30, 40 minutes away. He was wanting to let us know about it, so maybe we could meet up. Well, Chris, your woman better be looking to get good to you every day. You know, because you claim her as your woman. You got her for a reason. So she better look good to you every day. Okay, he said he'd hop in here. Because that's one of the reasons why we got with them to begin with, because we thought they looked good. Well, I imagine so, Chris, if you're saying things like that. Sammy! Dude, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about that until I got up. I stayed up late last night and had other processes that made me stay up even later because they was trying to work through and I needed to take care of that. And I got up about 12:45. And when I got up, I had a headache pretty bad and I had my back's aching and everything. And like I said earlier, I took me 3 pain relievers and a red pill that helps with sinus stuff. Because I wasn't going to deal with a hurting head and a hurting back at the same time. I can take so much, but I wasn't going to take all that. And so I'm moving a little slower than I normally do. Even though she got it covered with the sheet, you can see we got her chair set up back here. And that's why I went through what I did, knowing what I was going to pay for it physically later. But that's going to help her a whole lot. Oh, see, it's even harder for me to lean back up. So, like everything else, I just got to deal with it and work through it. Because that's just part of life. I told Skip pretty much the same thing. That's how you deal with things, you deal with it. Because there's going to be pain in life and you got to deal with it. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm dealing with it. She had got up. She went ahead and made up some sloppy Joe for later. Figuring, she'd go ahead and get that done so it's out of the way before it got any hotter. So we'll have some sloppy Joe later. I had her fix me some oatmeal, though, to eat for in the meantime. Chris just looking to get out of the doghouse. Uh-huh. Well, Chris, it don't matter if you own that house or not. All right, Mike. All right, Ben's over. Y'all go do what you got to do. That's right, Chris. You can be kicked to the curb. You better take good care of that woman. And saying things like that, oh boy. No wonder you in the doghouse. I'd say something like that to Elaine. I can guarantee you, she'd have something very smart alecky to come back with. That would make me wish I hadn't said it. He might kick back. All right, it's time for another sip of coffee. There we go. Well, that's the end of the coffee. So that's all that. Not that it helps me a whole lot. It don't give me no But I got me a glass of water fixed up to go in behind that. Should be nice and cold. I'm going from something hot, going to go to something cold. I'm hot and cold. I know, I'm being corny. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and do a pop-up live because I failed to prepare a video for today. Well, Chris, my got taken just before I turned 50. When I had to get cut. And had my innards in my neck and my spine dug into to put me back together. And I mean, literally put back together. Because 3 discs got replaced. One of them was hardened, calcified, broken up and crushed. And the other 2 weren't in too much better shape. Had little slices of stuff floating around in my spinal fluid inside my spinal cord that they had to get out also. So they had to play around in my spinal fluid and around my spinal cord when they was working on me in order to get those out. And because of a birth defect, my spinal column is smaller than it's supposed to be. So those little shards didn't have a whole lot of room to move around in, so they were sawing on my spinal cord. That's why they was wondering, they didn't know if I was going to move from the neck down or not if I survived the surgery. Well, that's the same here, Chris, because, I was supposed to have been dead on the table, not move neck down if I got up from that table. So for me to be able to get around what I do is nothing short of a miracle. And that medical staff there was very well aware of that fact. when my surgeon came in to check on me because he'd heard I'd been moving my toes, I lifted my right foot up and wiggled my toes for him. He had a little bit of a smile on his face. And I told him he saved my life. He told me, he said, I was just an instrument. That was his way of letting me know I was beyond his help. All he could do was clean up the mess and hope for the best. So, you know, any little thing I can do is very appreciated. Yes, ma'am, he has. Beverly is like this. I got told 2 prophecies when I was 15. One of them was that everything I touched would become as gold. In other words, it would become precious to God. And the things that would be touched was people's lives. The other one was that I had a big work to do. Big being extremely emphasized. Being 15 years old. Oh, hate to hear that, Chris. Well, being 15 and hearing something like that was what began me on my running from. Well, the amusing thing to God is you running is the beginning of his training for you. Because there's things you got to go through. Oh. But, Chris, people are going to believe what they want to believe. And again, that goes back to the laziness of not wanting to think and assuming what they want to think. And it's like the troll I talk about up here for my birthday one year after all this. Got a knock on the door, opened the door, and their troll was holding an electric weed eater. Said, "Happy birthday." Animal! And even though she'd been an x-ray tech for years and had talked with the surgeon that operated on me, she still didn't want to believe that I was messed up as I am. Thought I could still grab a weed eater, get out there and weed eat. People going to believe what they want to believe regardless. My neighbor's wife, whom I call willful ignorance, believes I'm a fraud and defrauding the system by being disabled. I'm 100% disabled, and it's been documented. So while discussing that one day, I finally said, I can get you in touch with my surgeon. I said, he could explain it to you. Oh, he wouldn't be able to make me believe it either. People going to believe what they want to believe based on what they want to think because they're too lazy to think. Oh, you got a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher. Yeah, I can wash a set of dishes and it'll wear me out. But at least I can do it. You know, yeah, people are going to believe what they want to believe because, you know, and that's what they'll use to determine what they're going to do next concerning another person because either you're a benefit to that person or you're not. And that's when you'll find out whether somebody actually loves you or not, because they don't want to believe you're hurt. Guess what? You've just been a benefit, not a love interest. Oh, wow. Hate to hear that. Oh, cool. Play date. That'd be nice. Yeah, strokes ain't no joke. You know, anything physical like that ain't no joke. Melinda, I ain't going there on that one. Personally, I'd be setting some law down, and I'm sure you have, but I'm sure it's obvious that it hadn't done no good. And it's a shame when people are like that. But yeah, situations like that are when you find out whether somebody actually loves you or you've just been a benefit for them in their life. Yeah, that's what I do. I hand wash. We ain't got a dishwasher no house, so it wouldn't do me any good to try.
I do too. Got a dishwasher. It's got 2 hands and 2 legs.
Well, that's what I told them. I am the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you keep them up as you go, it ain't so bad. And that's why I do them when she does her videos. That's why I do them while she's doing her video. That way they're getting done as they get used and everything. That way it ain't so bad later. So you got it, might as well use it, right, Dan? Let's see. I understand that, animal. You're standing on your feet all day. You got a dishwasher. Use that sucker.
Hey, when I had one, I used it. Believe me, I did.
And now she does not have a mechanical dishwasher. She has me.
I got a piggy.
So you work together. Well, like I said, stuff like that's how Lane knew I loved her. When we first got together, it wasn't long when she got hit with cancer. I was right there with her and helped her through. I already knew she loved me, but when I got hit with mine, she was right there with me and helped me through.
Well, that's what you're supposed
And
to do.
did things for me that somebody that did not love me would not have done. Trust me. I did the same for her.
Yeah. You love somebody, you take care of them.
Okay, Dan, but which part of it do you like better? The actual work or the work of all that? Sappy's back. Yeah, Sammy, I'm real sorry about that. Like I said, I stayed up late and then I got up. I was hurting and everything. And totally forgot about that. I try to get people to go through a lane on everything when it comes to going out and doing things because, I feel like just to go between. See, here's how this works. Yeah, I may be the husband and she the wife, but she handles all the finances, what we can and can't do, and knows more of, you know, does planning for her videos and when she's going to do what and all like that. So she knows all that. I just help to facilitate all that. That's all I do.
He's the driver.
And I drive.
And
That's
the
it.
dishwasher.
I wash dishes, work the camera, and drive. When it comes to making the decisions, I let her figure out what's going to be what, when. Oh, man. We'll be praying for him.
Definitely.
Heart attacks ain't no joke either. My brother had one here some years ago. And Troll was telling me about it. 3 weeks after he had gotten out of the hospital. Well, you know that. No, I didn't know. Well, I thought I told you about that. No, you didn't. We don't talk either. He and I. Why his reasons are, I don't know. But it don't bother me none. Because I've done been shown in many ways where I stand with everybody. They're going to be like that towards me. Ain't no skin off my back. Because I'm like this. I ain't going to be nowhere where I know I am not welcome. And it does not bother me. I can be cold like that. I don't care if people don't like me. I don't care if they don't love me. I don't care if this. I don't care if that. That's right, Melinda. I know you can. And everything. Because life is just too blasted short to be worried about those who do or don't like me. Or want or don't want to have anything to do with me. I just don't think about it. It's not a concern. Life is too short to be worried about all that. You either like me, love me, or you don't. It don't matter to me which way you want to go with that. I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to put the truth out there, and I'm going to say it like it is and how it is. And as far as being kind, you heard the song, sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind. Well, sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind. Because tell y'all a little secret about love. Loving somebody, and there are many different types of love, and then there's perverted love, but there are many types of love. But to love somebody, love your neighbor, sometimes means just simply not ending them for some wrong they may have committed upon you. Oh, wow. Well, Indiana Chris, I had a friend die here a couple of years ago, and he's a year younger than me. They didn't say really what it was, but I know the kind of life he lived. And he didn't take care of himself. And he dabbled around in some stuff he shouldn't have dabbled around with all his life. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing will catch up to you. I can't say a whole lot. I smoked a lot of my life, and I had asthma to boot. Went in the Marine Corps. Got deteriorating discs, and I didn't know that until I had my surgery. Been dead 3 times. Should be dead now. But like Beverly said, yeah, God wanted me to stick around. He had things for me to do. And getting back to that part of it, Beverly, those 2 prophecies caused me to run. That was the beginning of my training. And right before I got hurt, I was already going down because there was damage already there. But not long before I got hurt, there's a day I was out of work. I was scrambling. You know, I was helping my neighbor work on that house down there for a little bit. She had a little bit of a job, you know, didn't pay a lot, but, you know, we was working it. And she was getting her medical disability at that time until I got mine. They said I made too much, so they took hers away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're married. If we hadn't got married, she'd still have hers.
Yeah, if I had never got married with Piggy, I'd still have my little check coming in.
But I wanted her as my wife. The way I proposed to her, I told her, I'm going to marry you. It was in the truck, and I looked over when I said that. And it was just this big old crap-eating grin on her face. I took that as a yes. But anyway, I was scrambling. I told the Lord one day, I said, Lord, I know you got something for me to do, but I've got to have an income so I can do what it is you have for me to do. Next thing you know, I'm getting hit up under the chin by a 1/2 horsepower drill. Sends me flying across a good ways. I land on my neck. A couple of days later, the effects showed up. I was in a bad way. I slept in one of those small office chairs, my back and head up against the wall for 2 months before I finally went to the hospital. And all this began. And when this got done, next thing I know, I'm on 100% disability. I now have an income. It's enough to survive on and provide us a little bit. She manages it and has took it where I had from bad credit to where I've got good credit. It's not as good as it was because, you know, we've had bills and we've had to use credit cards and stuff like that in order to do some things. But you know, we get it done. She does it. She manages the money. Make sure, you know, we have something to eat and the bills paid. And it works. Well, when all that happened, you know, I wasn't on YouTube. I'd watch a few things here and there once in a while. But I was on Facebook. This is back when other things were going on and I was being political. And, you know, I'd be on there on Facebook. And in amongst having debates, which I'd have a lot of people try to come at me on different posts and say, Aaron! And I'd shut them all down. When one would get shut down, another one would pick up where they left off, and I'd shut them down. Then another one. After about 3 or 4, they got the hint. Uh, there was no win for them. I shut them down. But I would also do writings about different things. A lot of them on God. A lot of them about different things. And that's right, animal. And I am. And everything. So that's how that started out. Then that started growing and growing and growing. And then we started remodeling the kitchen. And one day, in amongst that, she was in there fixing something. It got laid on her heart to do a YouTube channel. But why not? You do it anyway. We ate it several times there for a few weeks there, Rud, but we hadn't in a while. You know, it just depends on what hits her at what time and everything. And if craving hits her, she'll make it and we'll eat it. And well, she got into the YouTube thing. Well, after a while, you know, the happy guinea pig thing. Well, after a while, one night in the live, Avid asked her, you know, where's Piggy? And that's when Piggy got born. Yes, I got on here, and after a while, another friend who's passed away since, Brian at Wonder Arts and Adventures, he prompted me to do a channel. I really didn't want to. Well, I don't want to do all this and do all that and everything. Elaine said, well, I'll do all that. Well, that took away my excuse there. So I began a channel. Here I am. I was doing a few different things, fiddling around, some stuff I was doing on the house, and crochet, a little woodwork, a little fiddling with minor woodwork stuff and whatnot, and everything. And then it progressed into me talking about the spiritual side of things a whole lot. You know, natural progression of what God has for me to do. So here I am. You know, that's how it gets out there. And that's how God works. Small steps, little at a time. Eventually brings you around to it. So oh, Chris scored him some CV. All right. But in that process, you know, God has brought a lot of great friends into our lives. And it's been an amazing thing. So, which is going to make that other prophecy come into effect. Those people's lives become precious to God. You know, so that's the work. That's what's going to result. That's why this is. That's just how it is. Go jump in that pool. I bet Teresa will give you a run for your money. So that's what that's all about, Beverly. That's why things come up the way they come up. And I'm going to speak truth to you. Because if I lie about anything to you, especially concerning that, and God's going to hold me accountable for that, And I ain't going to go there. So people can like the truth or not like the truth. That's up to them. But I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm not going to have myself held accountable to God for having lied to you. That's a large part of the problem people have today too, is they can't stand the truth. Don't want to hear it. No skin off my back. I put it out there. That responsibility is no longer on my shoulders. All right, Daniel. Y'all go talk about having some kind of fun somewhere, somehow. You know, that's why I tell people I'm going to have a great day every day, even on my worst day. So I might as well smile about it. Yeah, I'm having a pretty bad day today. Woke up, my head hurting, back still hurting. But I'm still having a great day. One, because I'm here to see it. I've got some great friends to talk to. I got food in my belly. Such as it is, I got shelter. I got a way to get around when I need to get around. I can still walk, even though I'm supposed to be dead. Rambling with the brooms. What up, Scott? So that's why it's a great day every day, because I got some great things to be thankful for. Great friends to talk to, food in my belly, way to get around. I can still walk when I should be dead. Sit here and think about it. I can tell you about a lot of other things. I can still go and get stuff and give it enough strength to pull it off. You know, so I got a lot of things to be thankful for. That makes it a great day. Did I have to struggle to go through it and do it? Yeah. Did I wind up hurting, have to work through the pain because I had to do that? Yeah. But it's still a great day because I still have enough left in me to be able to do it. That's a lot to be thankful for. That makes it a great day. World falling apart and people worried about one thing or another, all like that. Told one of you, you know, I ain't bothered by that either because that's just Bible prophecy being fulfilled. It has to be done. And that's going to lead to the final end of things. And we get to go home afterwards. You know? So the bad that's being done and that we have to go through is leading towards the good that will come later. That makes it all good. You know, this life, it's about choice. It's about learning. It's about having to go through some pain. And as I say, no pain, no gain. You know, if it's easy to get to, it ain't worth it. You know, so that's another part of people's problems. They want things to be easy. Things that are easy ain't worth nothing. All right, Melinda, you go peel them taters. I might have her fix me some of that sloppy Joe here in a minute. I reckon I've been on here long enough. Hour and a half. Didn't know it'd been that long. I didn't want to get on here but just a little while. She got to get ready for hers here after a while. Everything. Now, Scott, you see that chair right there? That's one of the two that we went and got the other day. That my neighbor was giving away and asked if I wanted them. It does, don't it, Joe? So I guess I'm going to get off of here and do some other things and get ready for other things. Just see what comes up. Hopefully I'll see at least some of y'all in her live later tonight. And don't forget, I will be doing my normal live tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern Time. Thank me for what, Teresa? I don't know what I did to be thanked for. Anyway, oh, well, I am bound by something to do that, Teresa. But yeah, that's. I might talk about the way of the warrior when it comes to that, because it takes a warrior to spearhead that truth out there and face whatever may come because of it. But anyhow, I'm going to get off of here and quit bending y'all's ears. Y'all can do whatever y'all got to do, and I'm going to do whatever I might need to do. Maybe have some of that sloppy Joe and all of that. So with that, I'm going to say, Piggy loves you.